Yeah, so we're talking about making meaning.
Mm.
And making meaning. And so we're not really actually making it, are we? We're more like listening to it or feeling it or sensing into it.
Um, hmm. And yet, as I feel into it or sense into it, it feels as though there's some process in there of a making.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not just sensing. It's a creative process of something that forms and kind of moves through these steps and shifts into something that goes, yes, that's what means something for me.
Yeah. So something about noticing, being in touch with sensing that process of something that is forming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then asking into that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And something about um, what's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we're just the way we are as we're having this, as we're in touch with this process, is there is a quality of relative gentleness, um, some patience,
Mm-hmm.
not rushing to get to something big and shiny. Patient
No.
with that.
Yeah.
And you're pointing out also that asking, so there is kind of a gentle curiosity in this.
Yeah. And exploring about self,
Mm-hmm.
identity. Who am I?
Yeah, yeah. So it's not necessarily I do all of this and I do this, therefore I exist. But in that process of exploring, in that curiosity, there's kind of an emergence of a sense of who I am.
Yes, it's very embodied. It's down inside. I feel it as we're with it. I feel it in my upper chest area and across my shoulders. And it's actually a really beautiful place to just not have to answer anything, just to explore meaning.
Yeah, yeah. So we're not so much talking about meaning as an abstract noun or something that would be defined in philosophical terms.
Mhm.
What you're talking about is, oh, there's that wonderful warmth in my chest when I am in that process of exploring meaning.
Yeah. And it's very personal.
Yeah,
What do
I am. I feel.
I feel I value? What's important to me? What do I value? What brings?
Yeah.
I don't have to answer it down there inside. I can
No,
just
no, no,
ask what
no.
brings.
Right.
That's the difference, right? Don't have
Right.
to worry about completing the sentence. Yeah, that's not the important thing. It's being with it and really being curious about it.
Yeah, being with it and being curious about it.
Yeah. Giving it lots of space to expand. Meaning,
Mm-hmm.
creating meaning. It feels like it's a creative process. And it feels like it's so respectful to ask oneself about it.
Yeah,
It gets to the heart of a person.
yeah. So there's something very tender, very vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
that meaning is an experience that is at the heart of the person, or creating meaning, or exploring meaning, or sensing into meaning.
Yeah.
You
And
get
it
to the heart
really,
of who you are.
yes. And it really, when you share it, I think it really, when I see what has meaning for someone, I feel that it's an intimate moment, that I'm really getting to know them. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, that really means something to you. It's
yeah,
the meaning of something. That means something to you.
yeah, yeah. So when you are connected to what has meaning for somebody, you know them better. You know who they are. And when we are in the process of exploring what has meaning for us, we know ourselves better.
Yes. And when we share that, like I feel like I share that with you, a sense of shared meaning. And it makes me feel closer to you
Mm-hmm.
when we have it's like I suppose when you feel a sense of spiritual connection with somebody shares this powerful sense of meaning and you share it together. It's an intimate experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to know it in yourself somewhat too, to be able to find it in yourself and in the other person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I find it's not that common for people in regular sort of public discourse to really talk about that. We tend to talk about it more in terms of thinking meaning,
Mm-hmm.
definitions, but that's very different than, wow, that means something to you. That means something to me too.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So there's that process of coming to the experience of it, of being, of exploring what does this mean to me,
Mm-hmm.
and of staying with that curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
and then having that experience. It is more possible to share it in a way that somebody else can relate to it.
Yeah. And that we're open to that. Like right now, like I feel a lot in my body as I'm sharing this with you. Do you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I really resonate a lot with that sense of open.
Yeah.
So that really something about there's an opening
Mm-hmm.
in that, um, and in that opening, it is possible to be more aware of something that was there, but was not as present until I'm more open.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I'm really aware that when people share what has meaning for them, I feel like they're letting me in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what comes up for me is that sense of, we started with that phrase of making meaning.
Right.
Now, the phrase has shifted a little bit to opening up to meaning.
Yeah. Opening up to meaning. Yeah. And celebrating
Yeah, yeah,
the intimacy of meaning.
yeah. And so as we put it in that context of opening up and intimacy, it
Mm.
becomes also safety. And
Yes.
so that we need to find, that place where it feels safer,
Yeah.
um, to be able to go there.
Yeah.
And that when we don't, it's probably from a sense of lack of safety or pressure.
Mm-hmm. So when we have a kind of set of core values or practices like you and I have together,
Mm-hmm.
there's this sense of safety develops more quickly.
Yeah.
There's a way in which to relate to it more quickly that you see also in, spiritual practices, or when you share this belief system,
Mm-hmm.
it facilitates that sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's both a belief system, but it's also a set of practices
Yes,
that are designed to help you find a place of safety and connection
through experiencing.
through experiencing.
Yeah. And we have that in focusing.
Yeah. So, for instance, in focusing, that practice we have
Mhm.
is that of going inside, of being curious, of not jumping to conclusions or snap judgment about what is, of having that kind of reflective mode, of a sense of respect for self and the other, kind of a slowness in the sharing of it. Uh,
Yes, and I would say one other thing that I think is crucial, which is a shared bodily experiencing.
mhm.
That it's not just, we're not just talking up here about sharing ideas or
Yeah.
beliefs, that we're in our methodology, in our experiencing, we're in our bodies. And as I share with you the information that comes in my body, and you share with me what comes in your body, there's this really much richer, deeper sense of embodied experience of meaning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Very, very much facilitates that level of intimacy.
yeah, yeah. So, you know, one way, the traditional way of thinking about a conversation or something that is an exchange of ideas, including
Mm-hmm.
about meaning, is it would stay here, at the head of the level and above, and it's ideas. And what is happening is there is an extra stage that each of us takes that before spouting off ideas, we first go inside and have that inner experience. And that what I share is something that includes that inner experience. And
Right.
as you receive it, you're not just processing ideas or words or concept, but you're also checking in with your inner experience of that.
In
And
my body,
again, yeah, and your body,
in my body.
body, because the inner experience is not an abstraction. Inner experience is in the body, and that's what you share is that. And so there is a richness of we're sharing the inner experience, which means a felt sense experience,
Right.
not just ideas that are empty.
Yeah, so that's crucial in in the kind of meaning that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Hmm. So cool. Imagine, how did we get there from